Now we will discuss about in this lecture about the stress cycle. Previously we had discussed about the role of livestock in the national economy, and second lecture we have discussed about the anatomy and the hormonal regulation in the animal. Now we will discuss about the stress cycle. Stress cycle. What is stress cycle? Stress cycle is 18 to 21 days the hormonal change in the animal. Generally, a heifer attend puberty, the stage of the which animal becomes sexually mature and secondary sexual characteristics become conspicuous by 18 to 12 month of period. When a smaller cow attend puberty early date than the larger one. The stress cycle is start in regular cycle occurs once in a 21 plus minus 3 days throughout the reproductive phase. During the cycle, mature ovum liberated from the ovary and the cervix become receptive to the spermatozoa. The female exhibit behavioral adjustment and attraction to the received animal, especially male. Stress cycle divided into the several parts like progesterone. It is the 2 days period of building the graphene follicle, which help the nourishment the ovum fluid and contain hormone called oestrogen. It caused change in the uterus blood supply. This marks animal became on heat. Graphene follicle is the ovary growing, resulting increase the secretion of the follicular fluid, which has a estradiol. These increase the number of the cilia and increase the viscolarity of the uterus and result the increase the thickness of epithelial wall of the vagina. The vaginal wall adjustment will fill the prevent possible damage of the wall then causes to occur. Oestrum. It is generally 1 day period. During this period, female ready to receive male. Graphene follicle will rise very turgid, and this period brought up an end of the rupture of the follicular ovulation. Vulva becomes swollen and vulva vagina congested. Metastasis. It is a 4 day cycle. The implementation of the embryo take the place of the corpus luteum and will form the prevent and growth of the graphene follicle, thereby the arrested by the oestrus cycle. This period organ return in the normal non-congested condition. During this period, cavity of the graphene follicle from which ovum has been expelled become recognized in new structure and form the corpus luteum. Diastrom is the last phase. It is 14 days. Further development of the stress cycle take place if the animal has not conceived in involution uterus take place. The longest part of the stress cycle, implementation of the implantation of the embryo and secretion of the uterine milk take place, which use the nourishment of the embryo prior implantation. In case of absence of pregnancy, animal return into normal and the cycle is continuous. Stress is the period in which animal exhibit the sex desire. This period lasts into 12 to 18 hours. The stress cycle heat allowed ovulation, which normally occur 12 to 16 hours after the end of the stress. Here is the figure. You can see this. First one we will discuss about the mature corpus luteum, then regressive corpus luteum, stress cycle 18 to 0 days, ovulation, then developing of the corpus luteum. Here is the heat cycle. Here you can see that we are discussing in previous slide. Here it is depicted in the form of the graph. So first one is the developing of the follicle, stress, then ovulation, developing the corpus luteum, developing of the follicles, regression of corpus luteum, stress, ovulation. Here is the it is depicted in the form of the hormonal change and depicted in the form of the graph. First one is the release of progesterone hormone, then estrogen hormone, luteinizing hormone, and then stress cycle. Sign of heat. There are various signs of heat in the cattle, and there is an abnormal change in the behavior. They are suddenly stop feeding, drop of the milk. They are attracted to male toward the male. They restless, excited, bellowing, frequent urination, homosexuality characteristic during the stress. Cow except mounting a bull or other cow. The behavior is standing quietly while being mounted. Reproductive of fowl. The aviation reproduction is heterosexual, require both male and female each contribute half of the genetic constitution of the offspring. The male contributes is half bay and sperm produced by the testes carried out by the semen. The female contributes her the ovum carried by the egg yolk and by the ovary. The ovum refers the blast disc, blast derm and germ disc. Okay. After releasing the form of follicle, ovary and the yolk moves into the oviduct where the fertilized and has added into the albumin. Here you can see the figure. Here two set of tests, kidney, and basically you can see that the beans. You can see here from the it is the bean shape. You can see this is the bean shape. This one also is the bean shape, and earlier the right one is the larger than the this left one. You can see the properly from the figure. Different different deck transport the sperm from the test where they are formed colca from the which they enter oviduct and the female when mating. The different deck enter the small pimp like structure of the colca. The structure acquired the mammalian penis and is much larger in the duck sub like penis like organ in pigeon and other animal, other fowl. The different duct quite narrow. The first wide vision approach the colca. Test and sperm. The tests are widely twisted called seminiferous. Troubles in the uh, troubles in troubles are found. It is in the tubes that special process of cell division called meiosis and transformation of the produce of the sperm. The sperm carry half of the total chromosome required to produce an embryo. The mother provides other half. Okay. 1 cubic millimeter of the fluid called semen produced by the male contains 3 to 5 million of sperm. Under the microscope, sperm the fowl will have been a long pointed head, long pointed head like this. Long pointed head. Okay, the test are produce hormone called androgen hormone influence the development of the secondary sex organ. Female reproductive system of the poultry. The female reproductive system domestic fowl also known as the poultry consists of the ovary and accompanying the oviduct. While the female embryo chicken has two sets of reproductive organ, only one of these are survive reach maturity and produce egg. The single surviving ovary located in the laying hen just front of the kidney and the abdominal cavity, firmly attach the wall end of the cavity. The ovary will inward vessel ensure the no hindrance of the transfer of nutrients and developing yolk. Ovary. In next slide, upcoming slide, we have see the figure. First one, ovary. The ovary consists the mass of yellowish round subject called follicles containing ovum or yolk. There are many such follicles, but only a small number of comparison will never reach maturity produce egg. When the hen is in the lay, ovary will active. The size of follicles is vary from the small those approaching the normal egg yolk, which can up to the 40 millimeter diameter contain fully matured yolk ready to the increase into the oviduct. It is possible in 5 stages. Like primary follicles have not yet commanded to further growing follicles. Then mature follicles are nearly so released. A discharge follicle where the yolk has just been released are atretic follicles, those from which yolk has released and some time ago. Yolk. It take approximately 10 days for yolk development from the very small to normal size found in egg. During that this time it is contained in the follicles. The follicle act as the sac during period of developing, supplying with the nutrients required its growth. When mature follicles are examined in elongated, the virtual free blood vessels will be the found in the area. This area called stigma is there. Follicle normally split into the release of the egg to oviduct. Here you can see the ovary, infundibulum, magnum, tubular, cell, vagina, colica, and burset. Oviduct function produce a cell membrane and cell around the yolk completely. The oviduct consists five distinct part secretion having different function. Infundibulum a funnel located adjacent of the ovary, long stigma enclosing ovary. Infundibulum collect the yolk after the releasing from the follicles, funnel direct into the oviduct. These secretion has a very thin walls and 6 to 9 centimeter long. Fertilization ovum, male sperm occurs here. Ampulla or magnum approximately 40 centimeter long and secrete more than 40% of the albumin. Isthmus about 12 centimeter length, it has secrete albumin and the cell membrane. Uterus is cell gland approximately 12 centimeter length and secrete the 40% of albumin. XL vagina approximately 20 centimeter length and secrete the mm, remaining albumin and cuticle possible cell pigment.